We begin in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Republican National Convention enters its fourth and final day Thursday. The Republican vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, took center stage at the third night of the convention Wednesday. Donald Trump's running mate embraced an America First approach to foreign policy and security. VOA's Congressional Correspondent Katherine Gypson has more from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
In his first speech on the national political stage, Donald Trump's vice presidential nominee, U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, came out swinging.
We're done importing foreign labor. We're going to fight for American citizens and their good jobs and their good wages.
Relatively unknown across the United States, Vance, a Yale Law School graduate who served in the U.S. military for 6 years, has served in elected office for about a year and a half. He was introduced by his wife, Usha Vance.
Chosen to help lead our country through some of its greatest challenges. I am grateful to all of you for the trust you have placed in him.
Wednesday night was a chance not only for Vance to introduce himself to the American public, but to prove his foreign policy credentials.
Together, we will make sure our allies share in the burden of securing world peace. No more free rides for nations that betray the generosity of the American taxpayer.
Delegates said they were not bothered by Vance's lack of experience.
Really what we're electing here is potential leadership. And he has got proven potential leadership, and he's not one of us old fossils.
Or his past comments criticizing Trump.
I love that he's young and he can be molded. And he is embracing the America First, which I also appreciate. And I think under Trump's tutelage, he can go pretty far.
In a night focused on making America strong again, Trump's son summed up the choice facing voters.
It's a choice between people who are proud of America and people who are ashamed of America. And ultimately, it's a choice between America last and America first.
The convention closes Thursday evening with Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's acceptance speech, his first time speaking in public since he survived an assassination attempt.
Now, for the latest from the Republican National Convention, VOA's Katherine Gypson joins us live from Milwaukee. Katherine, it's the fourth and final day of the Republican National Convention. How was Trump's running mate J.D. Vance received last night?
Well, it was a good, solid first speech on the national political stage. As you know, you've heard, J.D. Vance has only been a U.S. Senator for about a year and a half. He's actually best known for his New York Times best-selling book describing his experiences growing up poor in Ohio. That's how he came to national prominence. So he's going to have a bit of an adaptation as he adapts to a national political campaign. And here on one of the world's biggest stages, he really spoke to the Republican delegates, and they received him very warmly.
So what does his nomination as vice presidential candidate with Donald Trump running bring to the Republican Party?
He brings a youthful energy. He's the first millennial vice presidential candidate. He brings military service. He brings perspective on what it means to have grown up poor in the United States and then work your way up through the military, through college, through law school, and then in public service. So he brings a wide variety of experience, and he'll, for the Trump campaign, as they hope, will bring key Rust Belt states, those working class voters, those independent voters who are tired of the status quo and want that America First policy that he was talking about at his speech last night.
You know, Katherine, the convention has run for some days now, and there are still some questions being raised on the significance of having former President Trump's, foes on stage. They were given an opportunity to speak. What did that feel like, and how was that received by Republicans?
Well, every time President Trump has walked into this arena, it has been a huge amount of excitement from the Republican delegates on the convention floor. we expect an even heartier response this evening when he speaks for the very first time since that assassination attempt last weekend. We saw, of course, the bandage on his ear. He reportedly is going to give a message of unity. He tore up his speech criticizing President Biden, and he's going to talk about how his campaign will bring the American people together.
He seems to have a lot of backing, a lot of people saying good things, but you know, we still have a couple of months to go before the elections. Katherine, thank you very much for your reporting.